Uh, you know that saying, ask and you shall receive? Well, I asked something this morning and I received. I guess someone didn't like what I had to say about the North Shore Nationals. I have to assume it's a buddy of Big Wolbers. How many of you even know why I call it the North Shore Nationals? I think some of you know, right? Because it's Sanford, when the first one came around. And he wormed his way in with Big Wilbur and that guy Dallas at the time. Another question about this AHRA. I guess he was the newest, latest owner of AHRA. AHRA's been fucking wishy-washy since the 80s. Went bankrupt, shut down for a long time. They hosted no events. They only had one event, one track, and it was in Hawaii, something like that. And they were basically just trying to stay in business, just trying to sell merchandise to make money, but just give a money-making operation without offering anything for any members, any events to go to, anything. And then that died. I know it's been bankrupt and bought and resold at least a couple of times since the 80s, And then this Dallas guy was the latest new owner of it, and then I heard he walked away from it, which is why I'm curious why, they're having AHRA, signs there. I did watch 3 videos a few days back, see what was going on with it. And are they just using the name of an organization that no longer exists? Is that what's going on? Well, I understand that Dallas guy walked away. Yet we all have a life, man. Things come up in life at times that we need to tend to other more important issues. You know what I mean? And I heard he had something going on in his life. I don't know the details. I don't need to know. But he was walking away from it, and that was it. AHRA was over, as far as that was concerned. Now, Big Will was still using the AHRA name. Oh, is Big Will the new owner of it now? If I'm wrong, correct me. Here I go again, right? I'm a real sucker for punishment, asking if I'm wrong, correct me. Well, someone told me I was wrong and he corrected me. He said that it was a real good event. Guys came from as far away as Canada. And where else can you have a 3-day event that's family oriented, no drunken brawls and fights, and people can have fun? And that's great. In all sincerity, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. Believe me, I've been to events, nothing to do with cars and with the guys and the old ladies that, let's just say, it's not very family oriented. You know what I'm saying? You really don't want kids around there with what's going on. But, and I had said, the first year, and that's when Sanford pulled out. That's why I called it North Shore Nationals. And he fucked over Big Wilbur. He fucked over that Dallas guy. He just wanted to worm his way in to make it look like, he was doing tech talks with them, big AHRA poster and a trophy on the table. That wasn't Sanford's. He was never competed at any AHRA, NHRA, IHRA event. He was a nobody in drag racing, Mr. Nitro. Okay, whatever. Still never ran that 10. That's where he was going to run that 10. They promoted him and hyped him. He was going to be the crown jewel center attraction of that North Shore Nationals. He's going to race Sandy with his Casper the Not So Friendly Ghost truck for $5,000. It's going to draw a crowd. Spectator money is what, really can make things happen. If you're just dependent on entrance fee of participants, hey, hopefully you cover your costs, and that's about as far as you're going to get with that. You know what I mean? It's not drawing a crowd of people that want to travel miles and want to go pay and go watch this event. That didn't happen. Pretty much just, the entrance, and maybe they brought a friend or two with them, and that was about it. And yeah, there was a lot of junk there, because I did go out of my way to watch, and there were videos everywhere. Yeah, a lot of 4-door shitbox Valiants and other cars and station wagons and, pickup trucks and minivans, you fucking name it. Yeah, I did see a guy with a pair of titties on a Coleman mini bike, happy as a pig in shit, doing a burnout in a puddle of water. Yeah, I saw that. I saw other people too with an open differential rear end, trying to do fucking donuts in a donut competition. I saw that shit show. And I also saw that there was a fucking ghost town there. Nobody in the fucking stands on both sides of that track. And I pointed this out to a guy at the time I was in communication with that went. And I even said, hey, guy, what kind of shit show was that? Nobody showed up. Oh, no, people were there. So where were they? Where were they? You didn't see them on anyone's videos. And there were tons of videos up on here. Oh, they were in the pits. So in the pits doing what? Oh, helping the guys work on their cars. I mean, the guy's going to show up there to race, don't even know how to tune his own fucking car. Hey, excuse me, any of you spectators, you know how to adjust a Street Demon carburetor? You're almost like a Harley. Really? He didn't say much after that. He said, oh, but it made money. It covered its cost. Yeah, it made enough to just cover its cost. Okay, that's nice. Last year, I really didn't follow it too much. You really cared to. This year, I didn't either, except last week, somebody said, hey, that North Shore Nationals happened again. You know, Sanford didn't show because he wanted a piece of the gate. Did I get to that part? That's why he pulled out of it. He felt he was so important. He was a big superstar, main attraction. Unless he got a piece of the gate, a percentage, he wasn't going to go. And that's why he didn't go. They said, sorry, we're not going to pay you to show up. What, you think you're a big-time match racer like Tommy Ivo, Jungle Jim Lieberman? That's what these guys were in their careers. They were more match racers than anything else. They got paid to show up and race. And he backed up. And he fucked over Big Wilbur. Fucked over Dallas. The way he's fucked over every other person he gets buddy with to try to get something from them, even if it's content for his channel. And when no longer has use for them, gives them the fucking boot and talk shit about them, you know? So it's no surprise. I got the hiccups. Get some Mountain Dew. That'll take care of that. And in this way, look, I admit, you know, I did see a lot of junk there when they were going through the pits. Yeah, I saw some rusted up four-door shit boxes and shit and trucks and whatnot. And I saw a few races. You know, the cars actually, you know, performed very well, man. Both of them launching, pulling wheels up, you know. I'd say these cars are easily in the 12s, possibly 11s, you know. But once again, every single one, you don't see a single living human being either side of that fucking track in those stands. Fucking ghost town once again. And I heard that they had more cars this year. Somewhat close to 100. Okay, so you got 100 drivers that show up. Maybe they bring their wife, their girlfriend, a couple of friends with them. Let's give them 300 people. Okay, you got 300 people that show up at a fucking event. Call that a big event. He said, oh, everybody had fun, you know, it's a safe environment. Oh, okay. And then he ended with a question. And I will answer your question, whoever you are. I hear names of channels. I have no idea who you guys are. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to be your buddy. I'm not that desperate for friendship. I got to come on here and try to be everybody's buddy. Nah. That ain't going to happen. But some names ring out this guy's channel that I have no idea who you are, what you even fucking look like, what you sound like. It's okay. It's okay with me. He says to me, you tell me if you have a track, a local track in your area that could put on, you know, a weekend event like that where it's a family-oriented, fun time for everyone and there's no drunken brawls and fights. You tell me. Well, I am going to tell you, and the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'm an hour and a half south of Epping, New Hampshire, New England Dragway. So that can be considered a local track. Closest around here, you know. Just on a regular weekend. On Sunday, when they have their class racing, draws a crowd. And there'll be well over 200 cars there that show up to race. And you'll see 300, 400, 500 people in the fucking stands that pay to go and watch. No alcohol allowed, no drunken fights. Just open track and grudge racing. Now, we used to go up on Wednesday nights, grudge racing, open track and testing too on certain nights for certain things. And even then, you'd see at least a couple hundred people just show up, and yeah, they pay spectators to go in. We had to pay Even, testing tune, graduation night, we had to pay our entrance fee. And you'd see a few hundred people there just going to watch that. And it wasn't like on a weekend when it's class racing and they're handing out trophies and people are winning prize money. You know what I mean? It draws a crowd, And none of the participants had to go into the pits and help guys work on their fucking cars because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So yes, I can say that there are events. It's a weekend event. It's family oriented. No one's going to bother you. And then we have an HRA New England Nationals. I didn't go this year. I went last year. And I only went last year because I hadn't seen Bobby in a while. Just maybe to go and hang out, in the pits and talk with him and spend some time with him. I didn't know when I'd ever get to see him again. He's next door in Cranston, Rhode Island. Recently, he had his annual car show. He fired up his world record holder, top speed, nitro fish, funny car. He had a band, free food for everyone. At least 200 cars showed up. At least 200 cars showed up. It was fun for the family and kids. And at the New England Nationals, it's a whole 3-day weekend event. No alcohol, no drunken fights. Everybody had a fun time. They had a lot of things for adults and kids. You had drag racing simulators for kids. You sit in the seat next to the guy next to you, and you got a wheel, and you got your pedal. And there's a tree, you pre-stage, you stage, wait for the lights to come down. You got to be careful, you don't red light. Teach kids, what it's like to be at a starting line, how to get your car in, staging lights correct, and how to hit that pedal at the right time. Fun, even for adults. I've done it myself. Even though I've done it for real. Simulators, I'll tell you, they've come a long way these days, man. No fights, food. So yes, I do know what it's like. They also have the weekend Super Chevy Show. Same thing, there's racing going on. Oh, and by the way, and it was on TV. Did you see how many tens of thousands of people were there for that event? That NHRA event, opposed to this AHRA event. It was carried live on ESPN over the whole weekend. See how crowded the pits were? Besides the stands? You saw husbands, wives, parents with their kids eating food and having fun. And you can only get so far up to their trailers where their pits were. They keep you away to a certain point, because these guys are working on their cars. But they'll have their tables. They'll come out and sign autographs for you, and you can take pictures. And Bobby's always very friendly. They all are. They were all very friendly. I think the only time they ever had a complaint from any race was Cruz Pendragon one time. He was a real fucking dick a few years back. He was real rude and shit, and they even mentioned it on ESPN. Hey, what's up with him? Are you having a bad day? Anyway, yeah, I do know what it's like. And I've been to them. There were tens of thousands of people there. And no matter where you looked, there was a crowd. From in the pits, both sides of the fucking track, all the way down. 3/4 track where the seating ends. And even then, there's grassy knolls. People will be sitting on the fucking side grassy knolls down by the finish line. Because everything's full. So yeah, I do know. Now, I'll leave you with the same question you asked me. At all of these events they hold, even on regular weekends when they have their regular class racing that's drawing big crowds, could you say the same at this AHRA No-Show Nationals? Where are all these people? And one other little thing I almost forgot about. Another comment, somebody told me, I guess Jabba went live again, and he said he, trying to remember what he told me. He said YouTube didn't take that video down, he did it himself. Even though I guess this person that saw it doesn't know how to read, or he's dyslexic when he saw it. Video not available due to violation of YouTube community standards content. I guess the guy don't know how to read, or he's dyslexic. Jobber addressed that. He said he made $200 at his yard sale, and he sold his house in 1 hour for $270,000. That's what I heard. Here, I'm a sucker for punishment. I'll say it again. If I'm wrong, correct me. Well, someone corrected me about what I said this morning. They said I was wrong about this No-Show Nationals not being a really great event. said I was wrong and corrected me. Okay? So if I'm wrong about this, I'm going by what I heard. Feel free to correct me again, okay? See you on Friday.